what's up, jazz guitar friends? Larry Tamanini here, LT Jazz Guitar with Jazz Guitar under 5 minutes. Hey, it's been a while since I've done a video. I hope everybody's been having a great summer. I've been able to travel a little bit, play some more gigs, and teach a lot. And one thing that I always get from my students is, hey, LT, how did you learn how to phrase so well? Well, you know what? That's a great question. And I just used Autumn Leaves as a vehicle just to kind of work on some phrasing stuff, you know. So check it out. When you're learning how to play guitar, jazz guitar, any kind of instrument, it's basically like you're learning how to drive a car. Remember when you started to drive and you kind of, your time, you kind of like hit the gas, you hit the brake, you don't know, sometimes in the parts that are straight, you're okay. Then you have to make a turn and you kind of make some mistakes, right? So you get used to driving slow, right? You start to work on your time. You know, your time being your quarter note feel and your eighth note feel is a really big identifiable part of your sound, right? So just as I'm kind of going through trying to pace myself really slowly with these chords, trying to develop a quarter note feel, right? So when I'm playing my chords, I'm getting that quarter note feel. I'm driving really slow. I'm sort of in an empty parking lot. And then maybe I want to like get the tempo going up. So maybe I'll work on some bass lines. Now, not like I would play like this, but again, when I'm trying to work something out or I'm trying to learn a song, I'm always going to use a bass line to get familiar with a harmonic aspect of the song. All right, so check it out. Right, and I just want a strong quarter note feel, right? Until I can maybe just get that A section. All right, so I feel okay with that. So the next part, when you're learning how to drive, is to be able to give it some gas. When you're talking about giving some gas, and you're talking about maybe an eighth note feel, right? All right, so there were some bumps in there, right? But that's okay, right? I'm just sort of working it out. The main thing is I just want to keep the speed going. Maybe I can like, you know, ditch a couple potholes. Maybe I hit a couple potholes, but I can live with that because I got the speed going. I got the feel happening. You know, pretty soon you start to feel a little bit more comfortable so you can start putting it all together. Maybe find some shortcuts. You've been driving in the same town for a while and you have a couple of shortcuts. Instead of going to B flat street and going to E flat avenue, you know what? They got some construction there. I'm gonna take B minor. I'm gonna take this little 2-5 detour to get me here. So now I feel pretty good, right? And also, when you're driving, you want to develop a sense of direction, okay? I got my starts and stops going. So now I need to know when to get off and I need to know when to turn, right? I need to know what exit sign I have to get to. That is getting your form together. Another really, really super important part of the whole driving concept, right? All right, I feel a little bit more comfortable now. I have my form and I have a couple different ways I can get around. You'll notice in the very beginning there, I played a 2-5 idea from C sharp, right? Going all the way down to this, right? Again, it's just little jazz detour, okay? I've driven these streets a bunch of times. I know a couple shortcuts, right? So all right, so now I feel pretty good. I'm driving. So the next part is when you're a pretty good driver, you have to watch out for other people crashing into you, right? You have to be a defensive driver. And that, when you're playing with somebody, maybe you can sense that maybe they're in a different part of the form, right? They got off on the wrong turn. wrong turn, made a left and you should have made a right. Also notice people that are going really slow and dragging, right? Can cause more accidents by going slow than going fast. You also can get into the habit of speeding, where maybe you glance over a part that you're not super familiar with. But again, all this can be remedied by just sort of going back to that empty parking lot and just working stuff out, right? And you work it out slow so you can do it fast. Right? That's one that started out okay and had some potential, but again, that's what you try to do in the shed. You try to work some stuff out. So, all right, jazz guitar friends, be careful out there on the open road. Don't smash into anybody. Always use your blinkers. Bebop, if you like this video, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I really appreciate all the support. Have a good one.